Imagine a nation where some of its once most thriving states is now teetering on the edge of collapse. What happened? How did states that were once symbols of prosperity start to crumble? The answers lie in a complex web of economic downturns, political turmoil, natural disasters, and social unrest. As we delve into the stories of these states, brace yourself for some shocking truths and intriguing questions. Did you know that some states are losing their populations faster than ever before? Or those entire cities are becoming ghost towns? Let's explore the top 10 fastest collapsing states in the United States in 2024. Number 10. California, the Golden State fading. Did you know? California, once the land of dreams, is now a state of despair. What caused this dramatic shift? California has long been seen as a land of opportunity, but in 2024, the state is facing a series of crises. The housing crisis has reached a breaking point, with median home prices passing $1 million. The state's population is declining, with a 3% decrease since 2020 as residents flee high costs and natural disasters. Wildfires, droughts, and earthquakes have caused billions in damages, and the state's infrastructure is failing to keep up. Crime rates have increased by 25%, and homelessness has surged by 50%. The state's economy is stagnating, with a 5% drop in GDP, and many are questioning whether California can continue to be the Golden State. Number 9. New York, the empire in decline. Did you know? New York, once the cultural and financial capital of the world, is facing a rapid decline. How did it come to this? New York has always been a state of extremes, but in 2024, the extremes are becoming unbearable. The cost of living in New York City has become astronomical, with rent prices increasing by 50% in just 3 years. The state's population is declining, with a 4% decrease since 2020. The crime rate in New York City has surged by 35%, and the city's infrastructure is crumbling, with over 50% of the subway system in disrepair. The state's economy is shrinking, with a 7% drop in GDP, and many businesses are relocating to more affordable states. Is New York losing its status as the Empire State? Number 8. West Virginia, the Forgotten State. Did you know? West Virginia has one of the highest poverty rates in the country. But why has it been forgotten? West Virginia's decline has been slow and steady, but in 2024, the state is in freefall. The coal industry, once the lifeblood of the state, has collapsed, leading to widespread unemployment. The state's unemployment rate has reached 50%, and poverty rates are at a staggering 30%. The population is shrinking, with a 6% decline since 2020, and many of the state's towns are becoming ghost towns. The opioid crisis has hit West Virginia harder than any other state, with overdose deaths up by 50%. Public services are deteriorating, and the state's education system is one of the worst in the country. Is West Virginia destined to be forgotten? Number 7. Washington, the cascading collapse. Did you know? Washington State, known for its booming tech industry, is facing an unexpected crisis. What went wrong? Washington has long been one of the fastest growing states in the country, but in 2024, it's facing a sharp decline. The tech industry, which has been the engine of Washington's economy, is experiencing a downturn, with major companies laying off thousands of workers. The state's GDP has contracted by 8%, and unemployment has risen to 9%. The cost of living in cities like Seattle has become unsustainable, with housing prices increasing by 35% in just 3 years. Homelessness has surged by 40%, and crime rates are up by 30%. The state's population growth has stalled, with many residents leaving for more affordable areas. Is Washington's tech boom coming to an end? Number 6. Illinois, the debt-ridden giant. Did you know? Illinois has the highest public debt per capita in the country. But what does this mean for its future? Illinois' financial problems are well known, but in 2024, they have reached a breaking point. The state's public pension system is underfunded by over $130 billion, and the state's credit rating has been downgraded to junk status. Taxes are skyrocketing, with a 20% increase in income taxes over the past 2 years. The population is fleeing, with a 5% decline since 2020. Crime rates in Chicago have risen by 25%, and the state's infrastructure is in dire need of repair. The state government is paralyzed by political gridlock, unable to pass necessary reforms. Is Illinois destined to become a failed state? Number 5. Texas, the Lone Star State in peril. Did you know? Texas, once seen as a land of opportunity, is now facing a dramatic decline. How did things go so wrong? Texas has long been a symbol of growth and independence, but in 2024, the state is struggling. The energy sector, which has been the backbone of Texas's economy, is in freefall. Oil prices have plummeted, leading to massive layoffs and a 10% unemployment rate. The state's power grid, which failed spectacularly in 2021, has not been adequately upgraded, leading to rolling blackouts that have become a regular occurrence. The state is also experiencing extreme weather events with hurricanes and heat waves, causing billions in damages. The cost of living has increased by 20% and the state's population growth has slowed to a mere 1%, down from 4% in 2020. Is Texas losing its status as the economic powerhouse of the South? Number 4. New Jersey, a state of chaos. Did you know? New Jersey is one of the most densely populated states, but now it's losing people faster than almost any other state. What's driving them away? In 2024, New Jersey is in chaos. The state's tax burden is among the highest in the country, driving both individuals and businesses out of the state. The population has declined by 6% in just 4 years. Property taxes have reached a staggering 2.5% of home value, and with the median home price at $450,000, many residents are being forced to sell. The state's pension system is on the brink of collapse, with a $200 billion unfunded liability. Public services are deteriorating, and crime rates have jumped by 20%. The education system, once a point of pride, is faltering, with a 15% decrease in graduation rates. Is New Jersey headed for financial ruin? Number 3. Rhode Island, the silent struggle. Did you know? Rhode Island, the smallest state in the Union, is facing a big crisis. But why isn't anyone talking about it? Rhode Island's collapse is marked by a slow but steady decline. The state's manufacturing sector, once a cornerstone of its economy, has almost entirely disappeared, leading to a 12% unemployment rate. Public debt has reached an all-time high, with the state owing $15,000 per capita. The state's infrastructure is failing, with over 60% of roads and bridges deemed unsafe. Crime has increased by 25%, and the opioid crisis has devastated communities, with overdose deaths up by 35%. The population is shrinking, with a 4% decrease since 2020, and the state's future looks bleak. Will Rhode Island fade into obscurity? Number 2. Massachusetts, the unexpected fall. Did you know? Massachusetts, known for its educational institutions and high-tech industries, is on the brink of collapse. How did this happen? Massachusetts has always been seen as a beacon of progress, but in 2024, the state is grappling with a severe housing crisis. The cost of living has become unbearable, with housing prices increasing by 40% over the past 3 years. Many residents are fleeing the state, resulting in a 3% population decline. The public education system, once a model for the nation, is underfunded, leading to a 20% decrease in student performance. The state's healthcare system is also in disarray, with hospitals overwhelmed and unable to keep up with demand. The once thriving economy is shrinking, with a 10% drop in GDP, and companies are relocating to more affordable states. Is Massachusetts losing its place as a leader in innovation? Number 1. Louisiana, drowning in despair. Did you know? Louisiana is sinking, both literally and figuratively. The state is facing one of the worst economic downturns in its history. But what triggered this collapse? In 2024, Louisiana's economy is heavily dependent on oil and gas, industries that have seen a drastic decline due to global shifts towards renewable energy. Unemployment has skyrocketed to 14%, and poverty rates have soared to 26%. Coastal erosion, fueled by climate change, has led to the loss of vast amounts of land, displacing thousands of residents. Crime rates have surged by 30%, with cities like New Orleans experiencing unprecedented levels of violence. The state's population is declining rapidly, with a 5% decrease since 2020. Louisiana's infrastructure is crumbling, and with the state's budget deficit reaching $2 billion, there seems to be no end in sight. Is Louisiana destined to sink into the Gulf of Mexico?